So, finally worked out how to sort out the True Drive emulation type option. Oops. Yeah, I used to love playing this in the arcade. This is a great game. Unfortunately, the version we got in the UK on tape was rubbish. Absolute shit. Well, actually it's not that bad, but compared to this it was. And if you really liked Congo Bongo, you wouldn't have been happy with that. Bit like Nemesis, and I don't mean Nemesis the Warlock, mate. So yeah, I mean, I'd rather spend my 150 quid on the C64 full size than a 1541 Ultimate. There you go, mate. I just saved you 150 quid. What other channel gives you a free the C64 full size? Free! So obviously I'm using cheats, this is not how you'd play it. So yeah, Congo Bongo today, few people even talk about it. But back then, there was people in the Donkey Kong camp and people in the Congo Bongo camp. They both have 4 screens, they both have a rip-off of King Kong. Nintendo famously didn't pay a fucking penny to the rights holders. They went to court and spent a lot of money not to give them any money. The final screen, sir. Yeah, it plays absolutely fine on the C64 full size. And you know, this game does not work on the SD to IEC, so there isn't a single version of this version of Congo Bongo that works on the SD to IEC. So, you know, in summary, because I couldn't leave it as it was, I knew that if it's running Vice, it must have the option somewhere to actually run with, you know, True Drive emulation. Disk loading takes longer, obviously, that way, but at least the game works. So, you know, it is an option. Basically, if you buy one of these and you don't have a real C64, you're saving about 60 quid on the cost of a Tapuino and also SD to IEC, bare minimum. So, you know, and I paid 110 quid for this, so really that's a bargain really. I mean, I was fairly happy with the you know, the Chinese bootleg Mega Drive in a joystick thing with 145 games built in. This is a lot better than that. A lot better. And I'm not saying the C64 is better than the Mega Drive. I'm saying if you want to play like either C64 or Mega Drive games, this is a far more successful, you know, small FPGA or whatever type mini board running an emulator type solution. The only thing that's better is the actual joystick on the bootleg Mega Drive built into a joystick Chinese rip-off console with, you know, that has a good joystick. That doesn't work anymore. I'm going to try and hardwire 6 volts directly into the bastard because it doesn't work from batteries anymore, and this doesn't need batteries. In fact, apart from having to move your coffee table closer to your enormous plasma TV, or spending extra money and getting, you know, 3-meter USB and HDMI cables, that's fine. You won't have to use a power supply, because most people who buy this have to use them on an LCD or similar. And even the most basic one has a USB socket. Even if they can't play movies, they will show pictures from it. So it gives power to the USB socket, and that's all it really needs. So that's really how we leave it. Be brave in the second lockdown, which isn't a lockdown at all, because half the places are still open. But you know, I think at the end of the day, you know, you just grab the thec of all the cracks and all the real tape images, and you won't even notice that we're in lockdown. It'll feel like you've been suspended from work with full pay. Well, 80%. Which is more than I got when I refused to go into my last job, because I found out the bastard had actually installed the software I sold at Manchester Airport and was refusing to give me my £600 commission. The cocksucker! So I worked out the joystick business. So let's see, delay or not. There isn't an obvious delay. There's just a feeling that there's delay going on. Your brain actually registers that there's a delay, but you can't actually notice it. A bit like watching spores and fungi grow and move. They do actually move, very slowly. And if you have better than 20/20 vision and you concentrate, you can just about notice that there's something going on. They're not just static things that stay there. But it's not really a problem as such. For a game like this, definitely not. Manic Miner, you will start to compensate for it, because I think that's what was happening when I was playing Manic Miner. But, you know, playing a perfect copy of Galaxians on the C64, you know, the C64, full size or mini, with this joystick I would imagine, it's not a problem. So it's not a reason not to buy one. It's not a reason not to use this joystick with MAME on your horrible Windows PC or Linux or Macintosh, because they're all fucking shit. They're not 35 years worth of improvement on a Kickstart on my Amiga 1000, so there you go. There is no way that that's 35 years worth of improvement. Sorry mate, your whole millennial life has been a lie. It's shit today. But the C64 full-size joystick, response time, it's not shit. Ever so slightly, it might be like 1 frame or maybe 2 on a 50 frames per second game. I'm not sure. I can't be bothered to actually go through frame counters and screen grabs and all that bullshit. But no, it's not really an issue. So next we'll be trying Test Drive 1 on the C64, because the frame rate is slightly better on Test Drive 1 versus Test Drive 2 on some other systems, and on the C64 it's rubbish. I don't even know if I've uploaded that video. I recorded that months ago. No idea where the fucking video file is actually. But anyway, this is a successful test. And it's a nice game actually. People have always said all Galaxians is shit on your C64. Most of them are me that are saying that. But Xerons, apart from the graphics, which are not really like Galaxian at all, plays fine, and it's a very good Galaxian clone, absolutely. Now the only difference is on a real C64 and CRT, so that's important, not LCD or plasma. These graphics have artifacting, so it generates colours from monochrome bitmap patterns. But the C64 full size seems to be colouring those in for you. There is a slight difference, but unless you own a good CRT anyway, that's not really an issue, even if you know, you do buy a real C64. A real C64 on LCD, that's the most shit option I can think of. In fact, if it wasn't for the bloody fact I've lost all my SCART RGB cables for the Amiga and the bloody PlayStation now, I'd plumb those into this machine. Notably the bloody CD TV. But I think the CD32 has S-Video. But I don't have an S-Video SCART adapter for the plasma, so won't be playing Sherlock Holmes just yet. Hold your horses, boy. Sherlock Holmes on the CD TV is coming soon. The first one with the FMV. Which famously has better full motion video than a fucking £1,000 486 PC. We couldn't end the C64 full-size review of the SID emulation without a bit of shaky cam and the music that fares the worst, actually. So, a bit of shaky cam. We got to get this in the SID review for SID emulation review, sorry, for the C64 full size. And this tune actually fares the worst. It's the tune I always test, the latest real SID emulator for Vice. It's pretty close. with the maximum accuracy settings, but you need at least 1.5 gigahertz PC for that. There you go, mate. 1 megahertz C64. You need a 1.5 gigahertz PC to really emulate the SID. Now, for 99.99% of games, it's fine. This isn't actually the bit that sounds the worst. All this is yeah, there's notes missing, but you know, you get what you pay for, and if you're that fussed about it, you'll have a real C64 anyway, and at least an SD to IEC, so it's no problem. I can't think of any disc-only games that have a SID that doesn't work in you know, the generic standard SID settings of Vice 2.4, which is what this thing uses for Linux, I believe. Now, to be fair, even the SID player that I've got on the SD to IEC for a real C64 doesn't play every SID perfectly. I think Rambo's one that hiccups a bit, so you have to load the game anyway. This is the critical bit coming up after the Vij bit finishes, or right at the end of it, I don't know. Yeah, about 5 seconds ago, that's when it fucked up. But you know, fuck up is a generic kind of term. It's perfectly acceptable. It's better than the C64 DTV, so that really does conclude the SID emulation aspect review for the C64 full size now. And of course, you don't get a full manual, you know, like the ring-bound business you would have got with the VIC-20. You just get like a quick start pamphlet. It's like something a local print shop would produce for you, you know. It's very cheap. So I don't like that. The VIC-20 really is from a time where the first day you got the computer, you pretty much had to open the manual and type some programs in, because you probably didn't have anything else with it. Maybe one game, but you definitely bought it at a time when programming was important. So a proper manual, ring-bound affair would have been nice. Printing out a PDF, that's not really an option, because I don't know any printers that will print silver, and silver was quite common on, you know, the covers of VIC-20 manuals and games. I mean, there is a psychological effect, whether you have the C64 full size or an actual Commodore 64 at your disposal, because I'm sitting here with a corned beef sandwich, a hot beverage. I'm not even going to mention what it is, but it's not actually tea this time. Some chocolate bourbon biscuits, and you could actually sit down after consuming those lovely delicious 80s afternoon tea sort of I don't know what you'd call them anyway, but that's my tea. Even though I'm from London, we still had tea in quotes, which is like tea and cakes or tea and some sort of savoury business going on there. Yeah, it's like an after school thing. I think we used to come home from school. My mum used to work from home. She used to use one of those industrial sewing machines, making garments for, you know, actually various British companies like C&A, which was a clothes shop, amongst other things. The only thing that's different is I'm going to have a roll up after this, but no, you know, you could actually go on there after looking for a box of tapes and saying, oh, you know what, look at this game looks interesting, it's called Taz. They're not going to come out on the camera at all, mate. I wonder why that is. Ah, the reflection now, that's probably why. Maybe if we take it out the old cassette case. But anyway, this looks quite interesting. Yeah, it's not that much better. Deal with it. It's not like I'm charging you for these videos, and this is the camera I've got, and this is the room that I've got in this condition. But yeah, you know, I can now, if I had a C64 and Tapuino or SD to IEC, go and load that up, play it with a zip stick. Or we can go and play it on the C64 full size with the micro switch joystick. You could even load the tape version on that as well. So, you know, that's a positive thing in the world. But I have to say, if you don't actually mind using Windows, most of that is because there is no decent quality USB joystick for a reasonable price that is comparable with the you know, durability of these, well, I suppose these could be 30 years old, these Euromax zip stick things. There you go, them things. And that's really the problem. Does the C64 full size sort that out? We're going to find out anyway. So I found another game. Well, game cassette, a real game cassette, called Taz, T-A-Z-Z. I thought, you know what, I'll try that on the C64 full size. Hopefully it's not joystick port 1. I haven't spent hours, you know, checking and renaming the files of every game that needs to be joystick port 1. That's a real cock up with the C64. They need to urgently fix that. Needs to be a menu option. If you're not going to have it as a menu option, then you need 64 save states, really, because at least then, actually that wouldn't help at all. Anyway, this is Taz, and we're about to find out if it's joystick port 1 or 2. As James Woods and Michael J. Fox would say, the hard way. Right, okay, here we go. Oh, it's actually like Robocop. Now with this extended review, I have noticed that some of the joystick positions do actually stick. Do I need to actually blow them things up? Can I move off the screen? Now to be fair, this game was in a box in the bathroom, so I don't know if it's shit or not. No, I was doing a wee before you asked. If I had a zip stick, I think I'd be slightly better at this game. However, before about 1986, I would have had to use a QuickShot 2 joystick. No, QuickShot Turbo, the one without the micro switches. However, it didn't stick. Don't really have an option here, I have to say. Yeah, see, the up position always seems to stick. Ooh. I'm guessing you have to get all these things. Ooh, ah! Right, so it's a bit of Indiana Jones, a bit of Robotron. Indiana Jones, obviously Raiders of the Lost Ark. And possibly a bit of Star Wars trash compactor business. Because you have to escape before you get crushed. The walls are closing in on you. But once you've cleared a room, you don't have to clear whatever those things are again. They look like Gribblies. Last Ninja! Ooh. So really, you should get the ones at the edge. Ah, see, I thought if you touch the walls it'd be a bit of berserk and it'd kill you, but it doesn't. Well, that makes the game a bit easier now. Yeah, Monsieur Osiris. If only you could see the awkward 78-degree angle I've had to put the C64 full size on the coffee table. Just because the cables are too short. Oh, and the camera has to be right here. Actually, if anything, the camera needs to be even more there. There we go. Nah, it doesn't really help. Right, so now that I know you can actually go up to the walls, can you actually touch these things? I don't know if you can touch them. No, you can't. Right, it's quite generous. It's obviously calculating where the pixel for your legs are. So some of the difficulty is because of a rubbish joystick, I have to say. But then, in the early days of the C64, most people did have a rubbish joystick. I did all 4 levels of Commando when using a zip stick recently. After not playing it for a very long time. And I couldn't have done that with a QuickShot Turbo. So I guess that's not really... I mean, it would be nice to have the choice to use a zip stick. But how much money do you have to throw at these things? That's my point really. Ooh. So it is actually quite difficult, this game. Ooh, just about. So I'm making progress. Definitely making progress. I don't think you can do diagonals, which is a problem really. I think you may be able to move diagonally, but it doesn't really... Yeah, could do diagonals like Robotron, that'd help. So, I can't remember who done this game now. Let's find out quickly. How many lives have I got? No more lives. No more things. So, Bubble Bust 1984. So it's an early game. So I probably would have had a shit joystick anyway. But not a sticky joystick. That's not a problem I had. Would have been £8. Maybe 7. Can't remember how much I paid for Hustler. Now I really like Hustler today, and you'll go back to Hustler and think it's shit. So I might have actually liked it. The little bunny rabbit ears going up and down. Yeah. So today I think it's not great. I think the C64 joystick is already not holding up well. I've only been using this thing a week, and already the joystick is a bit like a 2-year-old Quickshot 2, if I'm honest, or Quickshot Turbo. Certainly won't be using these 25 years later like the old zip stick. Maybe even 30, no, hang on. Yeah, it is 25 years later, yeah. Music's quite jolly, of its time. 1984 is early period. You know, I think it's alright, but I think to play it today, I'd play it on a real C64 with a zip stick, so I've got a fighting chance, because I think that not being able to do the diagonals would have been a bit frustrating. It would have helped a lot, but I don't think it would have stopped me playing it then. Sadly, that's not the case. It's not then, it's now. I'm a lot bolder, and I'm switching this off now. So I've been using the C64 full size now for about a week, maybe a few days more than that. And I think it's time to do a test of the joystick now. Because I have noticed on a few games I'm playing that the joystick does actually stick. So if you push up, the micro switch that controls up will either be left on because the micro switch is going, which I doubt, or the mechanism is wearing in too much. So of course it's not going to do it now. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. Oh crap. I'm going to have to load this again, Just left and right to change the option. I fancy kebab and chips, chip shop chips, with the full salad, chili sauce, pickled chilies. Not mayonnaise, no. Yes, for level skip. Yes, to reset the skip. So I think I've done everything right. I've set it to NTSC, and which is something you can't do on a real C64, obviously. And I've set it to accurate disk loading, so you can actually do that in the menu. So it does appear to be working so far. Now Sky Shark is pretty arcade quality in terms of the game engine. You might not like the graphics, that's a personal choice. But I really need to see how the joystick is faring. I pressed M for music. I don't know if it's going to load me because it said sound. It didn't tell me how to change them. Ah well. you can hear my expert commentary on my dead channel much better now. Let's see how long we get. Because I have actually played Sky Shark. I don't know if I uploaded that video. It's been about 3 months ago. But that was on a real Commodore 64 with a zip stick. I mean, I always use a zip stick. That goes without saying. I've got 3 or 4 of the bloody things laying around. And probably a few more besides here and there somewhere in various storage boxes. So it's going to be a bit funny if you see this before the actual Sky Shark review. But I've already compared Sky Shark, I think, with the NES version and the arcade version. So it's super smooth. It's much better than Flying Shark. Much better. But seeing as I've got the C64 at the moment, actually I've got invincibility on, but I don't think I've actually would have lost a life yet anyway. Could be wrong. Luckily you don't have to keep pressing fire. I don't know why I didn't change that. That was a close one though. Remember, I've got the camera in front of me now because we're using a plasma TV. So it doesn't seem to be a problem for games like this. Maybe it's a problem for platform games where, you know, you really want to be jumping pixel perfect. Yeah, Space Dodgy Bombs. So yeah, you know, on the C64 full size, you can play NTSC and PAL games at the correct frame rate. Especially if you've got a modern TV. Yeah, I would have died a few times there. I accept that. If you're using real hardware, you'd have to buy an NTSC C64. You can plug your UK power supply into it, no problem, and you know, your SCART cables. But you would physically have to have 2 C64s, so there's that. Now, secondly, I've not got the S-video cable for the C64 yet. But as soon as it arrives, we'll be testing that with a plasma and a real Commodore 64. But the C64, it'll give you a cleaner image, obviously. There was no tearing on the scrolling dreadnoughts of Iridium like you get on Vice. That's a Windows problem. Windows being a terrible operating system. There's no vertical sync controls or anything like that. Actually, the colours are set to something else I was watching yesterday. I think I was watching the International. There's a lot of the. So it still seems okay for this kind of game. But for games like Taz, which I just played, it is an issue. So for shoot 'em ups it's probably okay, but for avoid 'em ups it's a bit pants. So that concludes our, I wouldn't say it's a long-term review, but I have played a lot of games with this USB joystick from the C64 full size. So it is showing signs of wear though, which is worrying. So, to sum up the review of the new micro-switch joystick that comes with the C64 full size, and I bet you any money it's exactly the same design for the VIC-20, which is a really stupid fucking name. The C64 is, because there is only a full size of the VIC-20, there's no mini. But anyway, the joystick that comes with it sticks, so you're going to use it for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and the joystick sticks in various locations. Not inside your girlfriend, it's not that kind of channel, mate. And, well actually I shouldn't say that anymore. I think, yeah, not inside your partner. And it doesn't even have to be a real one. But it does have to be a real joystick. But this isn't a real joystick. I was making a joke about strap-ons there. And so, you know, a lesbian couple could be included, even though none watch my channel. As far as I know. But then no one watches this channel anyway. So I'm pretty sure. And you really haven't got that many options. Not every single USB controller will work with the C64 full size or the Big 20. So I don't know if I have to reboot the machine now to actually. So if I disconnect this and plug in a completely different joystick, which I'll do a bit later, to see if I can use an actual 9-pin joystick. I don't know what to say really. It's a sign of the times. Like I always say to my mum, there's only like 3 or 4 factories producing the same shit, and the fact that they look ever so slightly different is neither here nor there. They're all fucking shit quality, unless they're insanely expensive, and then they're average quality of how things used to be. That's the thing. Things in the past were made to a much better quality. This is like some fucking cheap shit knockoff of a fucking competition pro mechanism by some factory in the Far East, exactly as everything is nowadays. It's fucking disposable. I don't think something that's 25 quid should be disposable. And don't give me none of that adjusted for inflation bollocks, mate. It's not my fault fucking house prices rocketed from the late 80s onwards. We all knew money was a nice thing to have. I don't know why they're going to have to go on about the yuppie years and it's all Thatcher's fault. No, mate. And it does help if millennials stop wasting their fucking money making Jeff Bezos, the fucking cocksucker, the richest man in the world. He is as annoying and useless as fucking Bill Gates. He don't deserve that money. There you go, another Christmas miracle. I've proved that there is no God. So yeah, I mean, the review of the joystick is actually, it's not a happy Christmas miracle type story. It's more like part 1 of the Easter story. But yeah, this joystick's dead, mate, and I don't think there'll be any resurrection for this joystick. But that's for the Easter special. Joystick is shit after 2 weeks. Useless! Right, we're going to do a little bit of a test now. So we have my USB to twin Sega Mega Drive Genesis controller adapter, and I've got a zip stick plugged into there, which is correct. Technically you shouldn't use a fancy joypad with auto fire and all that shit on the C64 joystick ports, because the PLA is quite sensitive like the old millennials. Right, this isn't working now. So, now of course, this does actually have 2 joystick ports on it, but it shouldn't matter whether it's in port 1 or 2 for the menus. It's going to be a problem. We have to power the machine on and off. Let's see what happens if we plug this shit in. Right, all this because they couldn't be bothered to build a decent fucking joint pad. No, so it obviously doesn't like it. Gonna have to power cycle the machine here. Yeah, they could have had something that looks a lot more Commodore 64 on boot up and shutdown. It looks exactly like Linux with a fucking boot screen. And that sound, they could have had the sound of a C64 turning on. If it was an Amiga version, they could have had the iconic leaps and bloops of the Amiga 1000 before the insert kickstart disc screen comes up. I don't know why people moan that kickstart is loaded from disk on the 1000, because it doesn't go away when you reset the machine. You have to completely power it off. And there weren't that many early games that didn't need a power off. You know, you could just do the old Amiga business, right? So that's my review of the shutting down and powering up business. We have to disconnect the C64 full size micro switch joystick. So this is the only joystick. Right, it should literally recognise that there are two controllers plugged in, and each one of these is mapped to like Genesis or joypad 1 and 2. There's two completely separate options. Right, stick nada. Right, well, these are very famous, very popular converters. They work absolutely fine in Windows, but because some idiot either licensed or had specifically manufactured a fucking horrible joystick for this thing, you're going to really find limited use for it. It'd be like if the £16.50 145 in 1 Mega Drive games bootleg console inside the arcade quality Mish joystick. That was actually better quality, but it's the same problem. If that joystick goes, you have to spend another two £10 notes, mate. And it's the same with this. And I've only used the joystick twice, so he's actually out of warranty, so I didn't really power it on. But no, there is no escape. You have to use probably some rubbish USB joypad, or there might be like one or two specific USB to Atari joystick adapters that do work with it. But even then you'll have to have two of those, because I don't think the joystick port assignment to the USB controller would be dynamic. Yeah, see if that works. So I haven't broken the stupid thing, sadly. But that's a real shame. After all that we've discovered, how good, how bad we think all aspects are so far, it was actually looking like quite a positive thing. But this is a dark Christmas, because at the end of the day, if your joystick don't work, you're not a man anymore. It's probably the attitude people in the 70s had. That's not my attitude. I could do a shit, mate. So yeah, the joystick is disposable. I think that's the only way we can really explain it so you understand. But you know, that is quite a serious problem there, because at the end of the day, you wouldn't buy this thing to play C64 adventure games 99% of the time. As hilarious as my Hampstead Guy Ritchie cut review of you know, that shit Melbourne House text adventure. It's not even a good text adventure. Melbourne House did not produce some shit, I tell you. But yeah, you know, at the end of the day, that is the joystick that it's designed to be used with. However, some knob forgot to design a joystick that would last more than fucking 2 weeks. Rubbish. So yeah, I mean, up until that issue with the joystick problem, it was really going to be like, yeah, you know what, a real C64 and SD to AC and Tapuino together, that in nice condition is going to cost you like a similar price. Although you do get a free second case style option if you buy a real C64. Now I don't mean piss yellow colour. So, you know, that is a thing. Because of the joystick. I was going to say, well, you know what, one of these will cover you for SD to IEC and Tapuino cost, plus the cost of a C64, so it's not bad. But the joystick that comes with it has absolutely destroyed that, because, you know, if you have a real C64 and Tapuino, the Tapuino is going to cost you about 25 quid, SD to IEC about the same. You're going to need 1 or 2 SD cards. Let's say another 10 of there, that's 60 quid. You can buy a working C64 on its own for 50 quid, probably with a shit joystick. But then the C64 full size comes with a shit joystick as well. So. And that is really your only option. Either use a Vice on a regular computer, you know, Windows, Mac, Linux, with whatever USB controller you want. In my case, it'll be the Sega Genesis Mega Drive joypad to USB adapter, which doesn't work with a C64 full size. Works fine in Windows, I've tested it. I played Sega SG-1000 games. And actually the Sega SG-1000 was, and the Famicom were rivals to the Commodore Max machine. And the games on the Commodore Max machine were, you know, about the same sort of average, on average, the same sort of quality as Leaping Larry, which we played last. Although that was for a completely separate video, but yeah, I'm sure all 3 of you watch all my videos. If you stuck around this time, this long, you must be wanting to watch something. So that's really it. The C64 full size is useless. It's crippled by an ineffectual little joystick. Joystick is not actually little. Disclaimer. So that really is it. So this thing is a novelty. If you buy one, don't expect to be able to use it every day for like a couple of hours or something. Within 2-3 weeks, that joystick is going to be fucked, and then you're going to be fucked. End of the Christmas special. Right, won't be another what the fuck is Mad Commodore playing this morning if I didn't check out the temporary repair to the flawed design of the C64 microswitch USB joystick. This shit. There's my fix, mate. Don't know if you can see that. Bit of wire wrapped around under that bit, This will be replaced by some sort of rubber grommet or washer or something. We have to check to make sure the repair is still holding. It's a temporary repair. Right, we're good to go. It won't be one of these videos unless I stitch together loads of shit without using a video.